Live.
Well, hello and welcome. I'm Wendy Rose Williams, and with my co-host Gregg Kirk, we are so thrilled to welcome you to the Waking Up Spiritually podcast. I am a past life energy healer. What I do is I help people release energy that does not serve them anymore. Anxiety, depression, chronic physical and emotional pain are some of the hallmarks of things that just stop us or slow us down, impede us from living a wonderful, happy, healthy life and feeling that we have a purpose and being able to feel those wonderful energies of peace and love and joy. So please visit my website at wendyrosewilliams.com to see if I might be of service to you. I offer complimentary energy healings, clearings, and blessings on an ongoing basis, and you just simply register for them on my website. And today we're going to have a very special guest, and it's my honor to be channeling Ascended Master Mary Magdalene today in honor of Mary Magdalene Day, which is tomorrow. So I'll turn it over to Gregg, and he will tell you more about his services and get everything queued up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gregg Kirk. I am also an energy worker, energy healer. I do in-person sessions in the Connecticut area. I also do remote energy sessions all over the world, either through Zoom or through the phone. And I run weekly online group healing circles every Sunday afternoon. And this Saturday, if you are in the Connecticut area, actually tomorrow, I'm hosting a fire circle in Connecticut. So that's always a really fun in-person physical thing where we remove blocks, we bring about blessings and raise the energy, not just of ourselves, but of the earth in tandem. And it's really an amazing experience. So today, we are doing something we've never done before, a live in-person channeling situation with Wendy and Mary Magdalene. So without further ado, Wendy, would you like to prepare?
Certainly, I'm going to attend to one piece of business because as the joke goes, well, what do you do after you get on the spiritual path? Because before you get on the path, you have to chop wood, carry water, all that. And right now my dog says she wants to go out the door. So excuse me for 1 second.
All right.
She was
Anyway, so to continue, we have never tried this before. This is something that Wendy and I talked about just a few weeks ago, and we kind of worked it out. And you know, you can look on wakingupspiritually.com to see how our broadcasts usually are, but today this is more free form and more we don't know what's going to happen. So here we go.
Okay, so just give me a moment and you're going to see me invite in the spirit of Mary Magdalene. Just a couple of deep breaths. Inviting in Ascended Master Mary Magdalene. Please help me be a clear channel for her. Please help me bring forth her amazing energy and that wisdom and that love that she has for mankind. Thank you. I am here. I am here. I am here. I am so happy you've invited me to be with you on your broadcast today.
Well,
Are there particular questions you might have, or how may I be of service?
we would like to ask you if you have a special message. People on Earth are here celebrating you tomorrow, and a special day for you. Is there any message you would like that a timely message for the people who know about you and who understand who you were and what you're all about?
Absolutely. I so appreciate being honored with a feast day. I so appreciate the record having been set straight that I was indeed the 13th apostle, some would say the first apostle, because I had the privilege of marrying my childhood sweetheart, one of the most well-known people in the world, Yeshua Ben Joseph, later known as Jesus. I usually called him Isa. Because that was my childhood name for him because we grew up next to each other. So my message is it is really time for us all to balance our energies and pay attention to our energy and have a spiritual practice. Just be able to ground and clear our energy and raise our vibration and just be as loving and peaceful as we can be, even when you've got to be in the center of the storm or in the eye of the needle, just to be able to keep your cool. And on that note, we've got to take Wendy's sweater off because she's getting too warm already.
Mhm.
And what I'd like to suggest to people is we all have masculine and feminine energy. And that might be a surprise to some people. So even though we can be presenting as one gender, we do have both types of energy. Both are wonderful, amazing, equally useful. But the journey, while in a human body, is to balance those two energies of the masculine and the feminine, the right side of the body being that active masculine giving side, the left side of the body being that wonderful feminine receiving, naturally attracting side of the body, and just being able to center them, and again ground and clear your energy. So it's not about Mary Magdalene Day in any way, although again I do appreciate my name being cleared because there was so much confusion as to who I was. And I would just like to say it's time to celebrate not only the divine feminine, but the divine masculine. Again, it's not one being better than the other. It's just balancing. It's just bringing things together in a more peaceful way.
It's a
So your
really,
question, or please
yes,
follow
no,
if I
that's a
go
great
off
point.
track.
I just wanted to say, I was just saying to someone the other day that we live in a world where the patriarchy or the masculine energy has been very predominant for about 2,000 years. And I know you and Yeshua were trying to lay a lot of feminine energy around the world, and through grid lines and so forth, and through energy, and that a lot of that energy got muted or something, but now's the time for this energy, the feminine energy, to rise, but as you said, to balance, which not like a French Revolution situation where now it's time for the feminine energy to get back at the masculine energy.
Oh no,
Right.
that's the
Can you say?
opposite of
Right.
what's needed. But just um, that feminine, that vulnerable, and that's the secret for many men too. Often people can think, well, to be strong, I have to be brusque, I have to be abrasive, I have to show no emotion, and it's quite the opposite. Because when you think about Isa, when you think about Yeshua's energy, that's part of what was so beautiful about it was so gentle, yet so strong. He never forgot who he was. He absolutely knew who he was, even though it was not easy at times. So just that being willing to be vulnerable, that comes from a place of strength and owning who you are. This is a time to own who you are and to just be willing to be different, be willing to be quirky, be willing to be nerdy, be willing to be silly. Whatever it is, it's a time to be able to express. So that's another part of what's going on right now.
Mm. So here's one question I've always had, like, was this whole thing with you and Yeshua coming to earth, and was this a pre-planned situation? And was there, did you have help? It doesn't seem like it was an accident. So I'd be fascinated to know more about how this came about. This yeah.
That's a wonderful question. What was pre-planned was we wanted to spread peace and joy. We wanted to spread the message that God is love and that people were not forgotten. And don't forget the time period we lived in 2000 plus years ago. Many of our people were enslaved, and that situation has not really changed. There are more people enslaved now than there have ever been. And that enslavement might be poverty. It might be lack of education. It might be lack of access to clear, affordable water, to the basic things needed to be able to live on this planet. So it was very much pre-planned. We wanted to bring peace to earth. The good news is that will now be accomplished. We are in a different age. We are in, after that 2,000-year long cycle, we are in an age of Aquarius, and that peace is going to be achieved within our lifetime. I know it does not look like it to many people who are so struggling and so desperate, but it is going to be accomplished. So yes, we did pre-plan, but the outcome, there is absolutely no way to take the complexity of what we were trying to do and to know how it would play out. Also, timelines repeat. Ours is one of the most repeated timelines because it is so powerful, that story. Here we are still talking about it 2,000 years later. And there were so many versions of the timeline. I would like to encourage you, please don't put any effort into quibbling about, oh, did Jesus really study in India? Did he really die on the cross? Please find your own truth and be happy with that. And you don't need to compete or to try and convince others or imprint your truth on others. Find your own truth, find your own Christ consciousness within that beautiful, high vibrational, golden and white light energy, and just be happy to know your own truth. Isn't that maybe enough of a journey?
Mhm. Yes, yes, absolutely. I'd like to ask a controversial question, maybe about Yeshua. There's a lot of people who are waiting for the return, so the so-called second coming of Yeshua, and can you speak to that?
Certainly. Yes, it is controversial. To me, in general, that is an abdication of not being in your own power, to be waiting for someone to save you. Yeshua came and did what he was intended to do, and he took so much karma with him. And he also is here as a world teacher. Yes, he is ascended, but don't just millions of people relate to his energy and say, oh my goodness, I was so amazing. I was so amazed. I was so startled. I was so taken aback, thrilled, overjoyed, whatever the emotion is, that suddenly I perceived Jesus, and Jesus spoke to me. Jesus helped me. Jesus came into my dream. I could sense him nearby. He made me feel better. So it's the energy, it's all right there. But if you take comfort from imagining and seeing Jesus, seeing that amazing avatar type of energy in this wonderful man, and you just see flashes of him as he's perhaps ministering to the homeless, or maybe doing something as mundane as packing your groceries for you. Feel the energy and enjoy it, and know you are not wrong, because again, that Christ consciousness is there within. So does that help with that question?
Yeah, maybe is there a message to the people who are waiting for the second coming, waiting for Jesus as a savior to come back? Do you have a message for those people?
I encourage you to love your life and live your life now and fully experience it. We as masters and the angels often see people waiting. If just this would happen, if I could just be wealthier, healthier, thinner, taller, more beautiful, more handsome, then I'd be happy. And I think that's the same type of thinking that is not especially helpful. You've got a choice right now, each day and every day, to make it an incredible day and to just keep building on that energy. And I think that would benefit you more if I can encourage you to consider that.
Beautiful. Here's a changing of the gears. Is there like a day in the life experience you can relate where you spent like a fond memory of a day or a time or just an event with Yeshua that you would like to tell?
Absolutely. I love this question. One of my favorite days was our first wedding. We were married multiple times in multiple places in multiple communities to allow more of our world to celebrate with us. But my personal favorite was the wedding that we had at my family home that had been my parents' home, where my sister and brother and I grew up. And there was a beautiful big walled garden behind it. In that simple at-home wedding, it just still brings tears to my eyes because all our favorite people were there. They had worked for days to make all our favorite food and drinks. And there was just some informal music being played and some dancing. And the celebration just went on late into the night. It started just before noon, just before lunchtime. And we were still going at 10 o'clock at night. So that is really one of my very, very favorite memories. There were about 50 individuals there.
Beautiful. So at this point in time, what advice would you give to people who are struggling right now with feeling hopeless and feeling like the world is out of control and they don't know what their role is in it? What kind of advice would you give to people who are in that state of mind?
Absolutely. And we're going to, with your permission, Mother Mary would like to speak. Yeshua's mother would like to speak. She just came in. I don't know if you can see it, but Wendy gets one single tear down from her right eye, and that's Mother Mary. So I'm going to step aside as Magdalene because Mother Mary is here. Gregg, could you please repeat the question for me now that I'm fully here? This is Mother Mary.
Yes. What advice would you give to people? There is a lot of people right now who are hopeless. They're unfortunately watching the news on TV and thinking that the world is a dangerous and disastrous place. What would you say to people to give them some hope?
Yes. Well, my first question would be, why are you watching the news? The news is programming. It is specifically designed to lower your vibration. It is very effective at doing that. I'm not saying you should be ignorant of local events or world events, but you live in an amazing information age that boggles our minds. When we look at the technology and information you have available to you in the palm of your hand with your little phones or in your back pocket, and search for information, but do not let it be spoon-fed to you, because it will absolutely make you feel sad, mad, hopeless. And so stop it. Stop it. Again, step into your power. make a different choice. Choose what information to look for and be outside. There's too much screen time, particularly for those in the Western world. There's too much of this television, computer, phone, anything with a screen on it. Will you please go outside and look up at the sun? Will you please get your feet in the grass? Will you please notice the gorgeous trees and flowers and water and take a walk and get some good exercise and just feel your mood lighten, feel the weight of the world coming off your shoulders from this artificial nonsense. It's all in your hands. You've just got to find your personal power. Do something for fun, like keep a gratitude journal for 30 days to make it just become a habit. I'm not talking about long and complicated. You can write down, my gosh, that was the best darn perfect coffee drink I have ever had today, or iced tea or lemonade, or wow, I really enjoyed that dinner with my family today, or I really enjoyed playing with my dog today. I mean, it can be simple. It doesn't have to be, I had a great 14-day vacation in Tahiti. Just it can be the little things, but when you just kind of what's the term, create that attitude of gratitude and just bring more ease and grace to your life, it's life-changing. It raises your vibration.
Beautiful. Is there anything that you'd like to tell the people, or set the record straight, like Mary Magdalene did, that you would like to tell? Maybe a fallacy people have, or a thought, that untrue thought about you. Yeah.
Speaking as a mother, I just want to say I did my best to relate to Yeshua as a son, as a beloved son, as the oldest of a large family, and as just at whatever age he was at. Yes, I knew his mission. Yes, we knew he was truly special, but all our children are special. And I did my best to keep him grounded. And guess what? He had to pick up his dirty laundry off the ground like everyone else. He had to take his turn at, cleaning and just helping get the food on the table. Carpentry. He had to take his turn and earn a trade, and work with his earthly father. So, back again to that expression of what do we do when we sense or know that we might be on a special mission? Well, we still need to keep the home fires burning, and I think that's good, and it just keeps your humility, because you are in a human body. You do need to sleep, you do need to eat good food, you do need to drink good water, and rest and relax, and take care of daily life, in business too. So I did my best to treat him as the oldest son and make sure that he had responsibilities with his younger sisters and brothers. So I thought that was a very good way of keeping him humble. Well, we'll leave it at, yeah, you had to pick up his dirty socks.
Right. Well, did you, when he was younger, did you ever have to punish him, if he did something wrong?
Very, very seldom, because he had such a strong moral compass and was so kind. Mostly, I wouldn't call it punishing, but more disciplining, was to bring him back to the 3D reality that we were living in, because he could go off and meditate and pray for days on end, even as a young boy. And we would say, that's wonderful, that's great, we will give you as much time as we can to do that, but it's your turn to clean out the fire, and it's a big mess right now. You need to go clean that out so that we can cook and have dinner for the family.
I see. Is there any other message you'd like to give to the people while you're still here?
Yes, I would like to repeat what my daughter-in-law said, what Magdalene said, just vision peace. If you relate to peace, just see thousands and millions of white doves just flying everywhere and feel that in your body, what it's going to feel like to have peace on earth. Because the more you can imagine that, the more you can vision that, the faster and the better it will arrive here on the planet. If you relate to joy, and just are wonderful at that, that childlike energy, whether you relate to fairies or whatever just brings you joy, the laughter of children, whatever of your lover, whatever it might be that really brings you joy. If that's your highest vibration, work with that, and just really enjoy that. If it's love, if that's that high vibrational energy, work with that and just calm yourself from the daily to-do lists. We see so much of this human doing versus human being, and we see you all being so serious, just so many tasks. And it makes it hard for us to connect with you and to support you and to uplift you, because we struggle to, get you to just do that meditation for a few minutes, take that walk, take that bath, take that shower at anything but 110 miles an hour.
Mm.
So just try and slow it down. When you're washing the dishes, just wash the dishes. Don't think about the next 30 things. And when you're in that moment, we can more help you, we can more be with you, and your life will just be more peaceful, more happy.
Actually, well, you started answering a question I had is for those, some people listening are energy workers or adepts or people who can do visualization and astral projection, things like that. And for anyone else who's just trying, anybody who wants to communicate with you or Yeshua or Mary Magdalene, what's a technique that people can do to better connect with you?
We would be delighted. Do whatever comes naturally to you. If you want to meditate, if you want to just sit quietly in your favorite chair or place, preferably outside. Again, nature is your friend. If you can stand with your back against a tree or sit at the base of a tree, or be by the water, we are so able to connect with you more via water. We're having to use the bathroom as the spiritual connecting place for a lot of people, the shower, the bath, getting your hands in water. But it's so much easier and so much more fun when you're outside, near any water. We'll use the kitchen sink water if we have to. But just asking to connect, ask us to come into your dreams, ask us to give you a useful dream that you'll be able to remember and be able to accurately interpret. Ask to learn how to lucid dream. And if you can't remember your dreams, just start keeping a little dream diary. Write us a question on a notebook or sheet of paper before you fall asleep at night. And we'd be delighted to connect with you, and you will wake up with some amazing new information. Yes, you can look at that as your intuition. You can look at that as the more outside of a guide type help. You can look at it from a psychology standpoint of, oh, well, that was just my unconscious or my subconscious. I don't care how you look at it. Just be willing to ask for the help, and we will be there in spades. We are delighted to connect. And I'm going to tell you a little secret. There are legions of angels here right now. There are so many angels because Earth is at a pivotal time and they're all lined up here to help. But you are on a free will planet and you must ask for the help. You are worthy of it. You deserve it. Ask for the help and remember to let go. Let go. Stop worrying about it. Once you put in see yourself in a fine dining establishment, see yourself in a lovely restaurant. Now you've just given your waiter or waitress your order and you put some thought into your order and you're so excited for that to be coming. They have written it down and conveyed it perfectly. And the chefs and the cooks are back there getting right to work on it. Do you think it helps if you barge through those kitchen doors, those double swinging doors, and go back there and bug the chef and micromanage the chef and ask what they're doing and why they're doing it that way and why they didn't do it faster and get in the way? I hope my analogy makes sense. Once you've placed your order, let it go. And just allow us to deliver that perfect meal. Ask to align with your purpose. Ask for the resources to live your purpose. We want all of you to live your purpose. You have every right to ask for the resources, but do not get overly specific. It's not always helpful to say, please dump $10,000 in my bank account tomorrow. Well, what if we had a way to put $1 million in there because you're meant to be starting a foundation and doing some philanthropy? Well, you just asked for 10,000. So does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. So shifting
Call
gears.
angels, call on us. Call
Thank you.
yourselves into your bodies. Ground your higher selves into your bodies. They will enjoy the physicality and you will feel better and you will heal your bodies with your soul fully in your body, grounded to Mother Earth. You are on a planet.
And just one final question for Mary. What was the purpose of the crucifixion, that whole scenario, the ending of Yeshua's existence? What was that all about?
Yes, the purpose was Yeshua chose that painful way. He chose to be taken. He chose Judas to betray him. Judas did not understand what the consequences would be. There's absolutely no blame on Judas. We needed somebody to play the part of pointing Yeshua out so that he could be taken by the soldiers. We were living in very dangerous times. We were extremely concerned there would be riots and that thousands and thousands of people would be killed. So he chose, it was the right time to go home and to make that sacrifice and to go home fully conscious as the Son of God, as the Lamb of God. And he chose to take on much karma, many sins from mankind to help everyone raise their vibration. Just like the violet flame was brought in by Saint Germain, and it's his gift to the world to use that to transmute. You no longer need to be on a karmic path. You no longer need to be eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. Those days are back behind you, but it's become habitual warring energy, and it is not necessary. You are absolutely capable of getting on the dharmic path at this time and should be getting on the dharmic path, and then reach out a hand and help those around you. Do some volunteering. Yes, take care of yourself and your family. Go find a dog rescue that needs some help. Go find a homeless a way you can help the homeless. Go find a soup kitchen. Do something and you will receive more than you give through that. as did Yeshua. So he went home. Magdalene, who's right to my left right now, that's how we were at the foot of the cross. I was to her right, she was to my left. We were quietly kneeling. We had our heads down. We had our hands over our hearts. We had our arms around each other. And we were doing our best to not cry. We were doing our best to keep our energy and vibration up, because that is what Yeshua needed. We did our best to send my son and her husband home as quickly as possible. And that is what was done. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you. Is there any final thing you would like to say?
Again, do not dwell on that one day and that one image. Yeshua was a living, amazing, wonderful man. He chose to be a human man on this earth and on this planet for 33 years. So please pick some favorite uplifting memories. I'm a bit tired of all the crucifixion emblems and energies, and that's probably going to ruffle a lot of feathers. But it's not how I remember my son. It's not how his wife remembers him.
Yeah, no,
It was one day.
Yeah, I was always shocked being a little kid where I would go into certain churches and see a full image of Jesus, a crucifixion, like full size, with wounds.
It's not a balanced picture, is it?
No, yeah, it was very upsetting and shocking when I was a little kid.
Love to picture him healing animals. Many people don't know how brilliant he was with healing animals as well as people. Picture him with children. He loved children. Picture him with animals, healing them. Certainly if your favorite scene is of him giving beautiful, amazing, uplifting sermons, that's wonderful too. If you like to think about the miracles of the loaves and the fishes, if you like to think of that water being turned into wine, that's actually a quick, funny story, Gregg. You asked of any, mother's son type story. The wedding where he turned the water into wine was at his own wedding, because I was embarrassed as the hostess. We had a bigger turnout than I expected, and I went and elbowed him and said, "Son, we're running out of wine. I need you to do something now." And I brought him many carafes of clean water and just had him out of sight and said, "Please change the composition of this liquid right now." So maybe that's a fun one. Maybe that's better than making him pick up his socks.
Right. Well, actually, one last thing, and I'll just say this, and maybe there's a comment you have of all the wise avatars on who have come to Earth. Jesus or Yeshua was the only one who was really talking about love more than anyone. That's the one thing that stands out to me. He spoke of love more than anyone else. And can you speak to that? Like, that seemed to be the strongest message that he projected.
You are here to learn how to be brave and to learn how to return to love. You came from source love. You are all a spark of the divine. Your job is to heal your heart. Yes, have discernment. Yes, have appropriate boundaries. My son could not have achieved as much as he did without having appropriate boundaries. Did he get tired sometimes? Yes. Did he show a bit of temper sometimes when he threw over those tables outside the temple with the money changers? Yes, he did. There might have been a better way to have made that point. There's something called the heart wall. And when a person gets really hurt, they can put up a heart wall in defense. That's an appropriate part of the human psyche. You are protecting yourself, but you then need to learn discernment. And you need to remember, I need to take that heart wall down, because you don't want to be triggered back into a similar situation or similar person or experience or location. You don't want to knee jerk straight into, oh my goodness, I'm going to be betrayed again. I'm going to be hurt again. No, you have to, if you lack trust and faith, perhaps that's the mission you're here on, to restore those very human qualities and beautiful aspects of the divine, that are part of being loving and part of being love. And many need to really sharpen the saw in the area of forgiveness, and to be able to just naturally, easily forgive. Again, it doesn't mean you're a doormat. It doesn't mean you're moving into victim and martyrdom energy where inappropriate things are happening. You are meant to love yourself and take care of yourself. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you so much. So that's, I believe that's our time today. I want to thank both Marys for coming through, and again, thank you so much. And this has been fascinating.
Our absolute pleasure. So Mary Magdalene is right on my left, and she's just waving. She's got a beautiful big smile, and Yeshua is right here on my right. He's got his left hand on my shoulder. So thank you from all three of us. We certainly appreciated this opportunity to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I look forward to listening to this, to hear. So I'm what's called a conscious channel, but it also crosses into trance channeling. And it's just, for instance, I thought Mary Magdalene today, and what a delightful surprise that Mother Mary came in. So
very, very cool.
Thank you to everyone for being here with us. Please go to wakingupspiritually.com, and you can find this episode will be there beyond the Facebook Live where we are right now in the Waking Up Spiritually group. And please visit Gregg's website, which is Gregg Kirk, GreggKirk.com. His healing sessions are divine, pun intended. I have had many of them, and it's amazing how many times when we have them, Gregg, and Yeshua comes in and speaks, or usually it's Yeshua is helping heal something for me.
Yep.
And my website is wendyrosewilliams.com, and please go there, as I mentioned, and you're welcome to sign up for one of the free energy healing groundings and clearings that I'm now doing. That's a new thing, and I'm doing it for groups, and love doing it, being of service that way. And you can also look for our YouTube for Waking Up Spiritually, or get us on the podcast app. What did I leave out, Gregg?
You got it all. You covered it all. Great. All right.
Everyone, we so appreciate you. We so appreciate your time. And again, I can't wait to listen to today and just hear what we were blessed by.
Yes, we'll see you all next month. Thanks a lot.